Hey, what's up folks, how's it going? This is Waj. Hope you guys are all doing well, and what you're looking at is the Asus ROG Phone inserted into the new twin view dock. Now in the handheld gaming world, the clamshell design is certainly not a novel idea. In fact, currently the most popular handheld gaming device in the world has to be the new Nintendo 3DS XL, and although it's hard to do a direct comparison with the fact that the Asus is a smartphone that has multiple different functionalities and capabilities versus you're looking at a dedicated gaming device on the Nintendo side, but just for fun, I want to show you what kind of things you can do with the Asus phone in this configuration and see how the general gaming experience compares to a more traditional handheld gaming device like the new 3DS XL. Now, firstly, there's a big push right now for gaming specific smartphones, specifically from manufacturers that make a lot of PC gaming hardware such as Asus and Razer. In fact, a couple of weeks ago, we did a comparison with the Razer Phone 2 Asus ROG and a standard smartphone that has similar internal specifications, and essentially what we determined is that basically what you pay for with a gaming smartphone is a better display that typically has a higher refresh rate than 60 Hz, some sort of premium audio features, whether that be upgraded external speakers, and typically a fancy over-the-top gaming-oriented design, which some people may or may not like. Now, there's a couple of unique things that Asus does to the ROG phone that makes it stand out from the rest of the crowd. Firstly, they overclock the GPU and CPU because of the upgrading cooling system built inside the phone. But more importantly, to address the issue of the touchscreen not being the most optimal gaming interface out there, they have a slew of different adapters and devices that is natively designed for the phone itself. And besides the twin view adapter, you can also get the mobile desktop dock, which essentially turns your phone into a full-fledged PC where you can hook it up to an external display. And via the USB connections, you can hook up a keyboard and mouse, a gamepad, and pretty much anything else you can think of. You even have a gigabit Ethernet connection if you want to do like a mini LAN party or get better internet than what your wireless is offering you. Furthermore, if you want access to real thumbsticks and physical buttons, there's also the Game Vice controller that will allow access for that. But specifically with the twin view dock, which is actually the most expensive of the accessories you can get for the ROG phone, I want to talk about what you actually get with this particular setup. First, you get that native display, which is actually the exact same one that you found on the phone itself. So it's a 6-inch AMOLED display with a native resolution of 2160 by 1080, 90 Hz refresh rate with less than 1 millisecond response time. It's also HDR compatible, and that's a huge leap forward compared to what we have on the 3DS XL, which granted does have the glassesless 3D technology built in, but effectively each eye gets around 400 pixels by 240 pixels on the upper screen and about 320 by 240 on the lower screen. Now keep in mind, the reason we have sub VGA resolution on the 3DS XL is the fact that the GPU and CPU is fairly underpowered, and the last refresh of this console was back in 2015, so we're using pretty outdated technology compared to the Snapdragon 845 chip on the Asus ROG that is also being overclocked. And one of the benefits of the twin view dock is we have a secondary fan that's keeping the GPU and CPU even cooler than what the phone can do itself. So generally you have a technically much more powerful gaming device, both from a software and hardware perspective, that is obviously leaps and bounds more capable than the super outdated handheld gaming device that we have from Nintendo. That being said, however, besides the Nintendo Switch, I still maintain that the Nintendo 3DS XL is probably the best handheld gaming device out there, including every other smartphone you can get, mainly because the control interface is specifically dedicated for the hardware and software for it, so you don't have to deal with third-party compatibility issues, and most importantly is the game content and support behind Nintendo is always going to be superior than most other companies out there because they've been doing it the longest, probably one of the most established players in the whole gaming world. And it doesn't matter how fast your CPU and GPU is, how awesome your display is, at the end of the day, if you don't have Mario, you really don't have anything. That being said, there are some neat things and capabilities that the twin view dock offers with the ROG phone. Firstly, you do have some physical controls. There's triggers at the back of the device, which you can map to any game based on the Asus ROG software. And of course, with the dual display capabilities, there's infinite combination of things you can do. So you can be playing a game on one of the displays and watching a Twitch a live stream on the other, or a YouTube video or something like that. You can also be live streaming on Twitch using the webcam itself. And the cool thing about having the dual display set up is that if you're playing a game at the bottom, you can actually use the front-facing camera and not be in the way when you're actually using the touchscreen. So that's kind of neat. And if you are streaming, you can monitor the chat above while playing the game at the bottom. And there's literally millions of combinations that we can list off over here. And of course, the elephant in the room has to be developer support for this twin dock setup. Basically, I didn't come across any game that utilized both displays at the same time. You can run two different instances of software or game on one screen at the bottom. Supposedly with the Free Fire game, which is a battle royale, you can run your third-person view at the bottom and have the map of the world at the top. I unfortunately had no luck in getting that to work, and games like PUBG, you can only run one instance at a time since you're logged in into one specific session. And besides the multitasking capabilities from a functionality standpoint, the secondary display doesn't really add anything to your game like it does on the Nintendo 3DS. Now lastly, in terms of battery life, the new 3DS XL has a 1750 mAh removable battery. That'll get you anywhere between 3.5 to 7 hours of gameplay. With the twin view dock on the Asus phone, you get an additional 6,000 mAh to the phone's 4,000 mAh, so a total of 10,000 mAh, which is insane. That'll get you days upon days of battery life. I actually haven't needed to charge the phone since doing all this testing with the twin dock setup. Now, at the end of all this stuff, when it comes to a value perspective on things, certainly you cannot beat the Nintendo 3DS XL's price point. Typically on the holiday seasons, right now you can get it for like under $150, which is awesome. The Asus ROG by itself is $900. It's another $400 for the twin dock setup. So you're looking at $1,300 for this particular setup. But if you want to get the mobile desktop dock as well as the game vise, you're looking at over $1,600, which is absolutely ridiculous considering the fact for the same money you can get an awesome gaming PC, a new 3DS XL, and even a PS4 for that kind of money, which begs the question is who in their right mind would ever adopt this kind of setup with the Asus ROG phone. I think at this point this thing is more of a proof of concept than anything else, but we'll have to see if developers will get on board or not in the future. But we'll definitely keep you guys posted on how this whole smartphone gaming world matures as we go into 2019. If you haven't done so already though, definitely check out our video with the Razer Phone 2 versus the ROG compared to a regular just standard smartphone with the same exact specifications if you haven't done so already. In the meantime, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. Make sure you have notifications turned on so you know and get our video once we upload them. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you later. Take care.